Oh yeah, sucker, 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 baby. A lady marry, bless with money, oh, baby. Starboy go, bless you with money, oh, baby. It's King Colin Walker, you know how it is, baby. I'm back with sunlight. Sit tight, everything's gonna be alright. I'm back and I'm better. I'm back and I'm better. Yo, it's like literally 11:46 Saturday night, yeah. And I just finished watching the UFC. We're not even like in this weekly roundup. We're not talking about football. Wait, was Champions League this weekend? The Champions League was this week, but we're not talking about football. Did you guys watch the UFC? Like the UFC was okay. So I don't know what fight card exactly it was. I forgot. But it was two interim belt fights: Adesanya and Gastelum, and then Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. Yeah. So basically, Adesanya, a black Nigerian lion, up against a Mexican stallion. These guys are both warriors, like, and in that fight, like, I'm gonna analyze both the fights, right? So in the fight, round one was like Adesanya got caught, right? Because like I told my brother, like the only way Kelvin can win this fight is if he rushes in, because he has a shorter reach, He can't get in on Adesanya. The only way he can win is by making it messy, right? So Kelvin caught him in the first round, and then Adesanya didn't have a good round because he was figuring him out. You know, technical fighters have to figure out their fighters. In the second round, Adesanya was finding his footing and established the leg kicks. The leg kicks are important with fighters like Adesanya that like to be technical, because if you don't get those leg kicks in, fighters like Kelvin that like to be brawlers and messy, they just come in easily. So establishing the leg kicks makes them respect it. Also hinders their footwork, and that's what Adesanya did. And then third round, like I have a massive headache, so but Adesanya, right? I can't lie, he did get beat up, but he didn't get beat up at the same time, because if you actually deep the fight, any other fighter would have been done. You know what I'm trying to say? Any other fighter would have been done, but like these like Hispanic, Latinos, Hawaiian fighters have a chin that is, I don't understand the chin. Like their chin is on some next level and they can't be knocked out. Because Adesanya is the type of fighter that everything he does is timed, is position, right? And then Kelvin's arm strength is really strong, but he has a short reach and he's really small. So it was basically like David versus Goliath, right? But not like the biblical sense. But like the way Adesanya just like, for me, like watching the fight, going into the fight, I was like, I know Kelvin's gonna make it into a brawl, and can Adesanya, like, can he withstand it? And he showed me he could, because it's like a lot of these middleweight fighters, like in the top ranks, they're not as technical as Adesanya, right? If you watch Romero versus Whitaker, it's lots of loose swinging and then random knee kicks, random haymakers that land, as I say. But Adesanya is a really technical fighter. He doesn't throw those random stuff, right? So this fight, basically, Kelvin is probably the quickest inside out of all those top middleweights, right? And for him to be able to beat a guy like Kelvin that has a really strong punch, and his hand speed is incredible, it shows a lot. Because it showed me that he can take a punch. It showed me that he can defend the takedown, and it showed me that he even has a ground game that not a lot of people like respect. But Adesanya, like, the longer you fight against him, the more rounds, it just gets exhausting for you as a fighter, because he makes you mentally exhausted. Because throughout the fight, Adesanya is constantly switching stances. He's constantly throwing different things, and in new rounds he'll throw a different thing. Like he threw an elbow, like Kelvin didn't expect it, because that's the first elbow he threw. You know what I'm saying? So Adesanya wears out these fighters mentally and also physically, because it's like you can't relax, because the moment you relax, a straight. And the thing I love about Adesanya is, like, if you guys follow fighting a lot, you know Floyd Mayweather, right? His straight hand was that was his signature. Like he can't slip, bang, shoulder roll, bang. You know what I'm saying? And Adesanya killed Kelvin with the straight. And I loved watching like the straight. Like the straight is a punch that is like legends throw the straight. Let me just say that. Legends throw the straight because the straight means that you're on levels, because a lot of fighters when they slip a punch or they roll a punch, they throw the hook. Like Kelvin was doing. He was extending from the hook. But fighters like Sanya that are positioned like Mayweather, they slip and they throw that straight, and that's what Adesanya was doing. And every time Kelvin will throw, like he'll run in, throw straight. You know what I'm saying? And those punches hurt the most because you're coming in full momentum, and then someone is literally just like going spank, and it hurts because all your momentum is going forward and they're literally like pushing you forward, and it's literally exactly on your chin. So he couldn't take those anymore. And like, I give it to Kelvin, man. This guy dropped like 5 times in one round, and he still stood up. And the thing is, like, it's not like he stood up and he was running away like McGregor. This guy stood up and he was throwing, like he was throwing. But like, this is big for Nigeria. This is big for Africa. Like, now he's not officially the champion, but he's interim champion. But now we have 2 Nigerians with a belt, 2 Africans with a belt, and it's lovely to see like Africans finally up there inside the UFC. Like, we're bringing our style and grace. Not trying to say, what's the welterweights? Usman always wears agbada to UFC press conferences and stuff. Adesanya is constantly speaking in Yoruba. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, speaking in Yoruba interviews, right? It makes them put those subtitles. It makes memes start to form. That's what I'm saying. People start to hear your language, and your language isn't like, yo, what they speaking. It's like, oh, yo, that's Yoruba, don't you know? Like, that's the thing. Like, Nigeria is getting known like on the globe, and like, I love it. I'm not trying to say like it's a competition between African countries, but like, I'm just happy that African countries are on the map. For Israel Adesanya, this showed like he has the heart of a warrior, because he was on like the 4th round, he almost got knocked out, but somehow he stayed in it. He didn't quit. And even he himself, he said he called himself a lion, and it's just like, it was magnificent to watch a fight like that. But I also felt like Israel knew that against any other fighter, they would have been done. But these Latinos have a chin that is stupid. It's absolutely stupid, but they do. But hats off to Israel, man. Beautiful fight. And then Max versus Poirier, right? That fight, yeah, I'm a Max fan, and it was hard to watch. The simple fact that Max, he's like Joanna. It was like Joanna versus Rose, the second fight, because Joanna was throwing the combos, was better. It's just that Rose's power was too much. And the thing for Max is that Max took too much damage in the first round, and it hindered him in the later rounds, because those are the rounds that he excels the most, right? And the thing is that Poirier was crap in those later rounds. Even though he kept on landing, it was just his power. And Max didn't have the same power, because the thing is that if Max had the same power, Poirier would have been done. Because Max's cardio didn't waver where Poirier's did. So if Max's punches had some, just like little more power, I feel like Poirier would have been done. But like, it just shows that you can't be moving up and down in the weight classes. Like featherweight is for Max, and I feel like he should have stayed there, because against Khabib would have just took him down and just beat the living crap out of him. But it shows like McGregor too. Like McGregor, like he's moving up and down, lightweight, welterweight, featherweight. Like, your power doesn't correlate throughout all the weights, and that's why I love fighting. Is that people feel like, oh, I can just go up there and dominate like McGregor, but you can't. Like, you have to respect each weight class. There's weight classes for a reason, and it showed today. Like, it showed that. But also, I feel like Max can't let him down, because like you should have known to, like, you have to put more power in the hands, because it's like, okay, you have magnificent cardio, but the hands need to have more power, because you know that the power inside featherweight is not going to go up to lightweight, so you have to put some more power. And it's like, Max just didn't have that power in his hands, whereas Poirier, every punch was, you could see it like leaving a dent on Max's face. But Max, that guy's a warrior, man. Like, any other fighter would have been knocked out. Anyone else would have been down, singing songs of praise. Thank you, God, for getting me out that fight, because the stuff Poirier was hitting was mad. So next up for Adesanya is Robert Whittaker, and I truly believe that fight is, I'm not gonna say it's easier than Gastelum, but I kind of think it is, because it's like Gastelum, I feel like he's better on his feet. Like, his boxing is a lot better than Whittaker's, and I feel like Robert has a chin, but it's not the same as Gastelum's. You know what I'm trying to say? I feel like Adesanya's technique and all of that, I don't feel like Whittaker has a lot in his arsenal. Like, Gastelum had nice slips. He had that leg kick, and I don't think Robert has that. And then for Poirier against Khabib, like, honestly, like, start with the stand-up stuff, yeah, because the big takeaway you should take from that Poirier fight is that Poirier has no cardio. Poirier does not have cardio. Like, I mean, he has this, because Poirier just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Poirier wants to knock these guys out in the first round. So for Khabib, if he takes him down, Khabib just has to take him down and he's won the fight. Because Poirier would not last 5 rounds of wrestling. Poirier would not last 2 rounds of Khabib's wrestling. And that's not even trying to like gas Khabib, because I feel like if Khabib tries to stand up with him, Poirier's hands are really nice and his boxing is really good, and I feel like he could catch Khabib. So I feel like Khabib should just be strict and take it to the ground, like just stick to his dad's plan. Like, don't try and do his own 50-50 plan, like stick to your dad's plan. But yo, that UFC was crazy, man. And I just wanna say, like, Nigeria has 2 champions right now, so every single Nigerian should be hearing that shaku on the beat, you know what I'm trying to say? And like, all the Nigerians, like, you guys need to start put some time into the UFC, because your brothers are winning in the UFC, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Nigeria's taking over the world, you know what I'm trying to say? Gang. But it's King Colin Walker, you know how we do, baby!